Hello everybody, I am JayLeonardJ, and today we're going to be using the Crazy Tube Circuit Superconductor to help you figure out which one knob booster sound is the right one for your rig. Well, ladies and gentlemen, one knob boost pedals. They are just absolutely wonderful and simple little devices. They can either add a little bit of definition to your clean sound or fatten it up in a beautiful kind of way, or you can use it to push that edgy on the edge of distortion amp into like tonal bliss, or get that distorted amp and push it even into more like crazy wonderful worlds of gain. Now when it comes to booster pedals, these like one knob boosts, there's a lot of different flavors. There's like range master sounds, the Echoplex preamp, which a lot of people love, the classic micro amp, and the ZVex super hard on. Well, if you're having trouble picking the perfect one knob booster for you, this is definitely the pedal to check out, because it actually has 4 of those iconic boosters built into it, and each different settings has a little bonus sound as well. So what I'm going to do today is I have a little McMull heartbreaker. I'm going to go into this 2 gain stage amplifier over here, the Tone King Imperial, and I'm going to go through the 4 sounds here, and I'll show you exactly what application I would use them for, what I think their strengths are. And even if you're not interested in a pedal like this might be really good for you to help you dial in exactly the kind of boost person you are. But if you want to just go all out and have fun with it, just get one of these and you can just change the kind of boost person you are every day. So let's just dig into this pedal, have ourselves some fun, and rock and roll. On tap, we have 4 iconic booster pedal sounds, all analog. Each one has an extra bonus feature attached to it. And we have a volume knob. Now, each one of these has its own unique input impedance, output impedance. So we are definitely going straight guitar into the pedal, into the amp, so you could really hear what's going on here without, any weird buffers changing our sound. We really get to hear the interaction of the pedal and the gear. So let's start off with the micro amp sound, the M.A. That's the MXR Micro Amp. Very nice neutral sounding op amp booster pedal with just like a tinge of sweetness attached to the upper end of it. Now, when I think of micro amp, I think the actual basis of it is distortion plus without the distortion. I think that's what it is. But I see it on a lot of people's boards because it's just very neutral. It just it adds a nice kind of buffer to your sound, and then you can push it to get some gnarly sound. So this is just the guitar and the amp on its own, pedal off. And this is the superconductor. So you can definitely hear just like a nice overall boost, just adding like a buffer sound to my cable run. Now let's start pushing it a little bit. You can hear that snarl. Now let's add the gain. I'm going to turn this off and let's just hear the gain coming from the amp. Now let's turn it on. Super cool. Now let's go to the EP setting. That is the preamp of an Echoplex. And what they're going to be doing here is there's actually a little bit of a voltage pump going on. So it's going to give me a little bit of a boost in terms of fidelity, but it, instead of adding brightness, it actually adds like a sheen of sweetness and a very subtle amount of compression and stuff. You'll hear a lot of people just love running Echoplexes into amps, turning off the echoes just to get that nice, sweet preamp sound. So let's hear the difference. You'll hear it actually doesn't quite get that little like presence bump on the top. It actually just keeps things like kind of buttery. Let's hear what we got going on over here. This is the clean sound. Oh, very nice. I actually love using this with my clean sound just to add a little bit of meat. Now there's a bonus mode here just to add a little bit more fatness. Let's put that in. very, very nice pedal, especially if you have bright pickups. It just smooths everything else in a very lovely kind of way. Let's add the gain now. And let's turn off the fat, just go more standard. And let's hear what it does to my sound. Oh, that's lovely. Now on the opposite end of that spectrum, where the EP sound really kind of smooths everything over, adds a little bit of, I don't know, creaminess to it, we have this over here, the MF. And that is based on a MOSFET style booster, notably the ZVex Super Hard-On. And what I kind of consider it to be as the alive booster. It just makes everything sound more alive. If you have like dull pickups, it has a way of making it sound shiny and new, brings a clarity boost. So let's hear what it's doing over here. Just the guitar. You hear that crispiness? Even when I turn it up, it still is nice and crispy. Now the thing about the micro amp sound that we started off with and this little MOSFET sound is there's actually an 18 volt boost, so we can go from 9 to 18 volts for just a little bit more, you know, power, a little more headroom. Now, last but not least, we have the one booster that does the most amount of coloring to your tone, and that's the Rangemaster sound, the transistor boost sound. Now, this one is not neutral at all, where the other ones were kind of subtle pushes and subtle tweaks of my sound. This one is, you know, you know what's going on when you turn it on. It takes away a lot of lows and gives us a really like vocal, nasal, upper mid-range kind of sound to your sound. It sounds really good with warmer amps, like tweed amps, amps that don't have a bright cap or anything like that. So I'm gonna go on the gain channel, and let's hear what this does to it. So lots of mid-range, a lot of honkiness. If you need your solo to stick out, this is the one you want. Now, if you don't have like a warm amp and you want to add a little bit more fatness to it, you can with the button. It just gives you a little bit more meat to hold on to. Now that we've heard all the sounds, we're at the part of the video now where we're kind of at the end. We can decompress a little bit, and I'll give you my opinion on these 4 different boosts and which ones I think would work the best for the sound you are looking for. And it's actually kind of a cool experiment because this is actually the first time I actually got like these 4 different types of boosts side by side to really critically hear the differences. And this is what I think, at least my opinion. So if you want something very neutral sounding, very natural sounding, like your guitar. It's a pedal that you can just keep on all the time and use it as a buffer for your whole rig, for long, cable runs or complex pedal boards and stuff like that. And when you turn up that volume, what you get is a very predictable, louder version of what you got. I would go for the MXR Micro Amp, op amp style boost. It's just a very, very workhorse, get the job done thing. It's been around forever and for good reason. It's a really, really good pedal. So that's that. Now, if you want to go with a little bit more fidelity, you kind of want it to sound like you have your instrument going through like a high-end studio preamp. There's a little like that extra clarity and extra zip to your tone. I would actually go for the ZVex Super Hard-On style boost. It adds, it just makes things sound alive. If you have overwound humbuckers or like muddy P90s, it brings just touch and clarity back to that mix. It just is a really, really satisfying thing. Lots of volume on tap, and as you turn up the volume, you still get that touch, which is very, very nice. So on the other side of that, now say you want to add like a little bit more creaminess to your tone. You want a boost that kind of works like a glue, that just glues everything together in a satisfying way. I would go for the Echoplex preamp style booster. They have a wonderful way of just adding this slight amount of compression, just this little bit extra to the end of your notes, and the way it just gels everything together, especially if you have single coil pickups or Dan Electro pickups. They just brings magic out of it. It's so satisfying, and it's really fun under your fingertips. It's a great, great, great circuit. Now, lastly, if you just, want to rock star it up, Brian May, Tony Iommi, go for the treble booster sound. It is not transparent. It's like the opposite of transparent. Lots of mid-range, lots of upper mids, no low end. It's just really bold. If you have like a tweed amp, or you have like, like an old Marshall, it just really makes them sound mean and fierce. And it has a wonderful response with your volume knob. It cleans up, and it in different shades of color, and because of that, you should definitely keep it like the first thing you plug into after your guitar. And just lots of harmonics and lots of fun. So that's my thoughts. You can go with that, or you can just get this and have all 4. So thank you so much for watching the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't done so already. Check out the links in the description below, and if you want to hear my review on the Super Conductor, check it out on Patreon. I do all my reviews on Patreon, sponsored by the Patreon supporters, and all my demos and tutorials. All the other stuff I do, it's right here on YouTube. Now, my question for the subscribers, I think you know what's going to be. Which of these 4 boosts is the one that you think would work the best for you, and why? That being said, I guess I'll see you all soon. Take care, and goodbye.